Here we go. Podcast is tonight. We will start at 7. I like to get on here a little bit early and talk to everybody. What up, Hook Set? How are you tonight? What up, Moose? Pounder? I just sent you a follow. Appreciate the follow, though, buddy. Brasher. How's it going? You survived the heat of the day like I did, I see. And it was warm today. About 110 in our shop. Yeah. Hopefully you got AC in that little truck. Or at least you drive it fast. Oh, cool. Yeah, he's got till 7. 100%. I always start a little bit early. Let everybody get in here. BS with me, BS with each other in the chat. Get everybody revved up, and then we get started at 7. So I always tell the guests of the night, just be in right around 7, but I start at 6:45. You just got off the phone with him? Sweet. Yeah, I'm excited for tonight. Get to learn some more things about him. We got some giveaways to do. And yeah, it's going to be a great night, man. For those of you who don't know Bfe, you will after tonight. We're going to ask him some questions about everything he does and how he got started. And we're going to figure out a lot. Make sure you guys give it a share it out. Like the live or comment. That gets you entered in for at least one of the giveaways. So appreciate the heart me, Jose. And so just interacting with the live gets you in for the guest giveaway. Bfe will be doing a giveaway. We also do the Pretty Lures giveaway. That is a $25 gift code if you are a bait maker. If you're not a bait maker, you will still get a $25 voucher to get a custom made bait from Bfe Baits, is how he goes on TikTok. He's one of the owners of Pretty Lure. So we give out a code for that one. So you have to be in here. You have to get the whole code and be able to enter it if your name is drawn. And the way we do that is in that upper right-hand corner right here. Everybody's name has a number beside it. I already have numbers written down right here. I get them from the guest and Pretty Lure themselves. And appreciate the heart me. Bfe is in the house. So yeah, those numbers are already selected. And we just click on this little button, and whatever name is beside that number, you will win the giveaway from Bfe. But for Pretty Lure, I'll ask that you give me the code that's being given out. Appreciate it. Thank you. And that's how we do it. It's the most random way I can think of without having to shuffle through the chat from everybody guessing a number. We get a lot of people in here, so that can be very difficult. You can find it by tapping the live. What? I don't understand. Please reveal our community gift. You can find it by tapping here on the live. Okay. Gift. Let me see if I can do this. It's match time, match master. Oh. I will have to figure that out. Get out of there. It took me to somewhere I'm not used to being here. Hang on. There we go. That was too confusing to do right on the spot. Welcome in, everybody. Let's do a shout out to everybody in here. Moose Pounder Fishing, Jose Torres, Bfe Baits, Uncle Lou's, Doe Run Customs, Bear is in the house. We had him as a guest just recently. Bfe Baits is the guest of tonight. He's in here. Greg Wells, Miss Niece Outdoors, Diane Kaufman, Harper, and Gabe's Bass Fishing. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for coming in. Thanks for showing up. And hopefully you stick around. We're going to have a good show tonight. Diane, I think, yeah, you won last week's giveaway. So that was cool. Hey, John. Geo, welcome in. How's everybody doing? Is it hot where you're at? I think it's hot everywhere. I don't know too many places that aren't hot right now. We hit 96 outside. Of course, I work in a factory. I actually work in a pigment and dye. They make pigment and dye for mulch and paint. And that stuff gets hot. We have no AC in there. And it gets, I think today it hit 110. She's actually, we bought her a little wading pool and she's out in the pool. If you send her a message, Pretty Lure, she'll get it. I don't know how important it is, but if you send her a message, she'll get it. You sent me a message, I could actually get it on the watch right here. I went and got an Apple Watch because so many times I get messages and I can't read them. And sometimes they're important. Okay, yeah, send me a text. Definitely. The AC in my truck blows nice and cold. Benefits of being a truck driver. Yeah, buddy. I thought I seen somebody else said they had no AC. Is that no AC at your house or at work? Because at work, I don't have AC. At home, I do. And I love it. What up, Tim? Legacy Lures. Welcome in, guys. We have lots of upcoming guests, guys. Let's go over a couple. So Tim, I like to call him the Candyman. He'll be in there. Legacy Lures will be in there. Skeeter Lures will be in there. 007 Jigs and Rainbolt. Those are the people coming up. So make sure you guys are watching. Give me a second here, guys. Oh, wow. And we can go ahead and announce that right now. I would take it. Otherwise, you wouldn't have wanted to get me that text so soon. If that's the case, I'll announce it now. Yes. All right. So starting now, if you go over to the YT page and subscribe, you will get a 10% discount over at Pretty Lures. So for all subscribers and followers, and it is Pondcast, all one word, 2025. That will save you your 10%. The Pondcast 2025 is the YT page. Make sure you get over there and check it out. All the previous episodes are over there. We have, oh my goodness. Tonight is the 30th episode. So we have 29 previous episodes over there that you can go and watch at your leisure. I don't edit it. One, because I feel, I just feel it's better unedited. Nothing's cut out. The only thing is when you watch it over on the YT page, you don't get to see any of the chat, nothing like that. So in my opinion, the best way to see this show is to be right here, right now. But you can watch it over on the YT page. That's the Podcast 2025, all one word. More authentic. You got it. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. It is authentic. You know, I could chop it up and cut it out and do all kinds of stuff, and it just wouldn't be the real thing. What up, Strouds? Appreciate it. Wicks Buzz Baits. Benster's in the house. Boy, we're getting a lot of people up in here. Anytime you're ready to come up, you're more than welcome up here, BFE. We just won't start the actual interview until 7. So if you're ready to come up, you can request or just put in the chat that you're ready. GTK! What is it he always says? What's happening, Captain? That's what it is. There he is.
How's it going, Corey? Everybody in the chat? How's everybody doing tonight?
How are you tonight? Appreciate you coming in.
I'm trying to survive this heat, man. I've been not pouring plastics during the day because I have to shut the air conditioning off. I have to open the doors and all that. And for tonight's giveaway, I wanted to make something for it, and I only had the air conditioning and everything off for about 15 minutes. I went inside and changed shirts because I was soaked. In like 15 minutes, dude. It took that long.
I'll bet. Soaked. We're getting the humid heat up here as well, so it's not just hot up here. A lot of times we just get it's just hot. It's 95 or 100, but today it was, you could chew the air. It was heavy. So. Oh
yeah, it's like walking through soup.
It's crazy. I came home. So somebody asked me earlier, it was Pretty Lures, if my wife was handy, and the honest truth is we knew it was going to get hot, and we went out and we bought this little blow up wading pool. It's got 4 little cushions and headrests, and we filled that thing up, and me and her were just kicked back, lounging in the pool. I'm like, well, I got to go in and do the podcast. She's like, you have fun. I'll be right here.
Dang, Stroud said 110 was the index. I think we got up around 105 today, heat index. It's cooled off now. I think it's like last I checked, it was 103.
Yeah, I quit looking. When it gets above 90, I'm already sweating. It doesn't matter. I'm hot. I'm hot.
Yeah, this shop is not insulated, so the second I turned the AC off, it was already getting hot in here. And now I've got that dude on full blast blowing. I mean, it's on the other side of the room, but I've got the vent where it's, only open about that much, and it's blowing right at me, and it's still hot.
Yeah. Well, that sucks. You're not warm the AC.
It's that, you ever set a cold drink like Coke bottle out, and it starts sweating and running. Yeah, that's how it is right now. You just start sweating even before your pores open up. You're sweating. It's disrespectful hot right now.
That's the way it was at work. Probably by 9 o'clock. I'm just standing there talking with some of the other maintenance guys, and all of us, the sweat's just pouring. And it's like, man, you don't feel like working when it's that hot. We did. I did work, not a lot, but I did work.
Yeah. Listen, when you look at your forearms and your forearms are soaked, that's when it's, you're really hot.
Yeah.
My forearms will be perspiring, but when they look like they're covered in a blanket of water, that's when you're hot.
Yes, sir. I'm telling you. And that humidity never helps. You don't want to even be wearing a shirt or something. And we have uniforms at work, and they're the uniform pants and a uniform shirt, and those things, they're just hot.
They are. They're like cotton and
whatever.
I
Yeah,
don't know if it I don't know if it filtered my comment earlier. But when I come in, I asked if it was mandatory that I wear clothes. It's just hot.
Well, no, but yes. We've had one other guy take off some clothes, and it wasn't that hot in there.
I was there. I saw that night.
All right, everybody. It is 7 o'clock. You guys know what time it is. It is time for the podcast. We'll do a little bit of introduction. We'll tell you a little bit about the show, and then we will get started. I am Uncle Corey with Uncle Corey's Custom Lures. I run the podcast. The guest of the night tonight is Mr. Bfe. He's going to join us. He's going to tell us all about all the things he does and how long he's been in it, and we're just going to question him until he's sick of me. And we'll go on. There will be some giveaways tonight. Bfe himself is going to do a giveaway. Pretty Lures is going to do a giveaway. And they just announced to me that you have to be following or subscribe to the YouTube page. And we can get you a code to get you 10% off over at Pretty Lure. So their giveaway tonight will be a $25 gift code. To get that gift code, you have to be here present. We have a random number picked. If your name is beside that number, then we're also going to give away a code throughout the night. So you have to give that code within a few seconds. We'll give you up to a minute. If you can give that code, you'll win that giveaway. We also do allow the chat to ask questions. What I ask you to do is wait till the end of the podcast. I'll let you know when, and you can ask Bfe any questions that I might have missed or that you would like to know the answers to, and we'll try and get to all those questions. If that sounds good to everybody, we'll get started. What do you think, Bfe?
Let's rock.
Let's go. Don't forget, Pretty Lures is the sponsor of this podcast, so they do a lot for me. And they do a lot for the community. Make sure you're getting over and checking out their website. If you happen to win the giveaway, by all means, make sure you're using it. Don't hold on to it for so long. And you can't stack, right? I think I want to announce this for them. You can't stack up your gift codes, right? So if you have a $25 gift code, that's all it is. You can't stack that with a 10% discount and try and really get the price down there. And I think that's anywhere. That's not just them. You know, that's a lot of different places. So just wanted to let you know that. And what state
Dave and Rosalie are awesome people too.
Yes, they are. They definitely are. And you know them personally as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Dave's working on some stuff for me right now.
Between him and you, I don't know who's busier. You guys are always working on stuff.
Yeah, I need to try to stay busy. I try.
Yeah. What state are you in, buddy?
Tennessee.
Down in Tennessee. We've had a few people from Tennessee.
I'm almost smack in the middle on the very southern border. I'm right above Alabama. I joke and I always say I'm so close to Alabama I can hear the banjos echoing through the hollers.
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it.
I'm close.
So have you always lived in Tennessee? That's where you were born and raised and where you've stayed your whole life?
Yep. I've lived in 3 houses my whole life.
I wish I could
say that. All in the same town.
You really hate moving, don't you?
I guess so. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to move. I'm on a 33 and some odd change farm. I have 5 ponds. I have woods to hunt. It's hard to get away from that. Where do you go from there? Where's up?
I wouldn't. I would stay right there. I'm with you. I would stay right there. There's no reason to move. You've got fishing area, you've got hunting area, room to roam.
I've got a big pasture out here. We have a side by side. I've always had dirt bikes, 4-wheelers, and back in the day I had 3-wheelers, and And I have room to ride. I got trails in the woods. I got a wide open field. So
yeah, I'd have to agree with you. Why move? You're not going to get
exactly
that anywhere else.
No, I mean, everything else is just pretty much a downgrade.
Yeah, yeah. It takes a while to get something like that. And if you move to a different area, I would say you're going to pay a pretty penny for something like that, if you can find it at all. So,
yeah, thankfully, I've pretty much inherited it. Me and my brother. It's me and my brother's land. This is what I grew up on. I grew up on this farm. So
very cool.
Yeah, those ponds growing up weren't just for decoration though. I grew up working those ponds hard.
So we're going to get into some things about you, but first, I usually start with tell us a little bit about yourself, and some of the questions that I refer to is let's start with bait making. So is bait making your full-time gig, or is there a regular job that you work?
Right now it's full time.
Okay.
Shoot, coming up on about 3 years now, bait making.
Full time. That's what you do.
No, not full time, but okay. 3 years in the trade or whatever.
Gotcha. So you've done bait making for 3 years now. So
roughly, yeah, getting close to it.
And if you're thinking you can go full time with it, you're doing pretty well. There's not a whole lot of people who actually get to that point, and it's really saying something when you can say, "Hey, I can make a living off of this." Actually, so that's good.
It's not as glamorous as it sounds, though. It sounds like a dream until you have to do it.
Well, at that point, you're into the pressure of it all, right? So you got guys that want baits. They want certain baits. They've got maybe tournaments they're going to, or their fishing season's coming up, and they want them yesterday, and you're already busy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, they want their own custom twist on things, and
yeah.
Oh, that's great when you basically just make the baits, and but when you got to keep up with inventory, keep up with ordering, do the shipping, your own website, everything. Everything I handle.
Yeah.
By myself. And if you're just doing one or two things, but with all the soft plastics, multiple types of plastic, all the colorants, the glitters and stuff, additives you got to keep up with. Then you got the bladed jigs. You got different hooks, different blades, different. There's so many things to keep up with.
And that's the thing. And maybe some people don't know this. There could be some people in here who don't know you at all. What all do you make? Is it plastics, jigs, chatterbaits? Am I missing anything?
That about wraps up. There's different, many different types of jigs I make, and sure. And all that. But in a nutshell, yeah. And honestly, with doing everything myself, that's about as right now as far as I want to take it.
Yeah.
Each thing I do, there's a rabbit hole for everything that you can fall down in.
We had a little conversation the other day about the rabbit holes and things you can get into, and I think one of your statements is no, I do not do spinner baits. I don't want to do spinner baits.
Chatterbait blades is a deep enough rabbit hole. Spinnerbait blades is even deeper hole.
Yeah. There's plenty of people out there who do the spinner baits, but if you want yourself one of the Bfe baits, you got to go chatter, the jigs, or the plastics, and you can't go wrong. Bfe actually sent me one of his chatter baits. Is it something new that you're doing, or have you been doing these micros for a while?
I've been doing them for a while, since close to the beginning of the year, I think.
Okay.
I don't remember when that became available, but the minute it became available, I had it.
So he does the microblade chatterbaits, and these things look awesome. I am not a micro fisherman, but we're going to get this thing out. We're going to see what we can get here. We're going to throw it around on Lake Erie, and I'm going to throw it around on some of the local reservoirs as well. And I think this thing will get just about any fish that it gets in front of, but for the crappie and stuff like that, crappie will slay the bigger chatterbaits, 3/8 half ounce. I can't imagine if they see one of these coming through there.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, well, when you get in the cooler months, which you get colder and the people up north get even colder, but down here, when things get colder, bass tend to go for the smaller bait fish and stuff. They're not chasing the bigger stuff as hard because they're getting lethargic and stuff. So
they're just looking for any meal. It doesn't have to be a big one. Just if it swims by them, they're probably going to grab up on it. So
yeah, they're opportunistic feeders. So
yeah,
if it's easy meal in that hard time of year, they're going to take it. So,
yes, sir.
I've seen some pretty good bass caught on those already. My friend Fingerprint, he's caught multiple 3+ pounders on those micros.
Yeah, I've been watching some of his lives when I can catch him. He fishes on live quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when it comes to all the things you do, what's some of your favorite to do? Is it in the plastics area? Is it in the jigs or the chatterbaits?
Probably jigs. I love jig fishing.
Okay.
But the plastics go hand in hand.
Yes.
Because I can make the chatter or the jig, and then I can turn around and make the trailer to go with it.
Yes.
I can color match the trailer, or personally, I don't like to match my skirts on my trailer. I like contrast.
Okay.
Not like a clashing color, but something that mixes in, that goes well with it, but I like the contrast a little bit.
Yeah. That's not a bad way to look at it either. When you think, oh, I have a green pumpkin jig, we'll just say that for simplicity, and I have a green pumpkin trailer, it all kind of blends together.
Yep.
Now, I do find myself fishing that way. I'll take a pure white jig and I'll throw a white trailer on it, and I do well. But that doesn't mean that that's the way you have to do it.
Yeah, see something like that, a white chatter or jig. I'm thinking something like chartreuse, which that's a pretty easy one to put out, but
right.
Something like that. Chartreuse would look good on as your trailer.
Yeah.
Maybe even like a black or smoke color. Just a little contrast on it.
I'll tell you, I have some of your. I hate it when this happens. I start to talk about something and the words just leave me. I like to fish. It's a color called Tequila Sunrise, and you have one that's really close to it, and it's a
Morning Dawn.
Thank you, Morning Dawn. That's it. I have some of those flutes. I actually received them in a box from Tiny. I was able to pick out my gift that I won on his podcast, and I picked out some of those Morning Dawn, and what a great color.
Yeah, that's been a really popular color, and it's weird. I do a lot of that, and I don't even fish it that much myself.
You don't?
I don't. I will, but I'm kind of stuck with the, either like a white or a green pumpkin or, stuff like that. I don't know. I'm just really stuck on natural colors, and that's what a lot of my baits I try to imitate. Natural colors of bait fish.
Yep.
Or if I don't, I'm trying to be flashy. Something to catch their attention, catch that light. Now, of course, if you're in clear water, you got to go with something different. You can't go with the darker pumpkins and stuff like that in really clear water. So,
yep.
But I don't fish a lot of clear water. There's not a lot of clear water in Tennessee. It's all at least got a green tint to it.
I know all about that.
Algae.
So, Lake Erie is green. That's all there is to it. Your clarity is not even a foot at best. And it's a tinge green. Now, we went out Sunday and, for lack of better words, we slayed the bass. But we were just using a weightless Texas rigged baby bass fluke. And they were just so slow at the bite. If you threw that thing out there and you twitched it back to you to make it swim and dart, you wouldn't get a bite. But if you threw it out there and let that thing settle all the way to bottom in the shallows, right along the weed line, and let that thing fall all the way to bottom and just, like you were worm fishing, just pick the pole up and set it back down. That's the way they wanted it. If you didn't fish like that, you weren't catching them. So
you said you got Morning Dawn, but that would have had to be in the Tennessee.
It is. Yes, it is.
Okay, you take that and rig it weightless, and just put it on EWG and get you about a medium rod, and you twitch it right. You can walk the dog on top of the water with that.
Okay, I didn't try that. Now, what I did
I did it just. Oh, go ahead.
What I did like is that fall. It kind of shudders on that fall.
Mm-hmm.
But I did not try the top.
They're hitting top. Well, I did that because, that's one thing I do. I do have the benefit of having a pond 15 feet out the door. So I go out there and flick a line, throw a line out. I don't even care if I'm catching. I'm testing baits out and seeing different ways I can work it. And I'm just out there playing one day, and that's I was trying to see how it would look as a darting bait fish. I've done that with flukes when bass are balling up the bait fish, and they start boiling up to the top.
Yep.
You can take and throw across that, and take a fluke, and instead of acting like a unaliving bait fish, you make it like a darting bait fish, and they will eat it up. But I was testing that, and I was like, holy crap, dude, is that thing really walking the dog on top of the water? And sure enough, it was. But you need a flexible pole, like a medium, to do it. But it's pretty neat.
Well, I'll definitely give it a shot.
Frank. That was kind of a little bit on that a minute ago. It's hard to say because they go hand in hand.
Do you like better soft plastics or chatterbaits? Oh, I gotcha.
That one, like I said, that one's hard because they go hand in hand. I make a chatterbait or a jig, and then I make a plastic to go with it, and both allow you to be creative, and they're both fun. So it's really hard to say which one or the other.
Very nice. His chatters are amazing from Moose Pounder Fishing. Well, let's get down to a little bit of the nuts and bolts. I think everybody on here could talk fishing all night, and I'd like to get to dig in just a little more. So let's start with jigs and tying and stuff like that. So when it comes to tying jigs, do you have a certain vise that you like to use? Is there a vise you would recommend if somebody was thinking about getting into tying?
Well, it's dirty, but this is the one. So when I started bait making, I was tying crappie jigs. That's how I got into it very first. And that's the one I got. It's the Nirvana V2. And it came from a fly fishing company's website, but I can loosen this bolt and I can get a 5/0 hook in it. So
can you? Okay.
And it is, it rotates and does all that. So a lot of people love the Peak vices. I've never touched one because this one has always worked for me. So.
And
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right. I say that all the time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Is it rebuildable as well? I know I'm trying to get more information about the jig tying and stuff. I'm actually considering getting into it, but I know some of the vices are rebuildable. I think certain pieces and parts go bad, like the clamp itself. Starts to loosen up and won't tighten down as much over time. Are you having any of those troubles? No.
I've tied thousands of stuff. I mean, I've been bait making around close to 3 years, and that's the only vise I've had in 3 years, and I'm not having any issue. As far as being rebuildable, I have no idea. I've never looked.
Okay.
To see if parts are available for it.
Okay. Let's take a step back here. And you say you've been bait making for 3 years, but who got you into bait making? Was it the fact that you found TikTok or YouTube or Facebook and it just kind of, you fell into it? Or did you start making baits for yourself first?
I started making baits for myself. I wasn't even on TikTok when I started making baits.
Okay.
At the time, I was more into crappie fishing, and that's why I started with the crappie jigs. But hey, man, if you go to the box stores, the quality is junk on those, and yeah, you can get custom ones, but the weight, and I'm not patient, so I was like, I'm gonna start making. And honestly, I'd wanted to start soft plastics before the jigs, but I just didn't have the money to invest in plastics. And it was easier to start with the crappie jigs.
Yeah.
And we were heading into fall, getting ready for crappie time of year, so I was like, let's just do crappie. And that's how I started that. And also my son started, he was getting a little older, and he wanted to fish more, and I was like, I can't afford both of our addictions, so I have to make them. So yeah, 9-10-year-old,
okay,
started getting into fishing real big, and now, God, he just turned 13 at the beginning of this month, and yeah, it's hard to afford both of our addictions because he has nice stuff too.
Yeah. Now, is he starting to follow in your footsteps at all as far as the bait making, or does he let you take care of that?
No, he don't have any desire at all. If they had a PlayStation 5 game bait making, he might try it, but that's about the only way he's going to make anything.
You might have just had the $1 million idea, buddy. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. There are some weird games out there that kids really get into. So,
yeah, I've seen some weird stuff.
Next up is bait making for the PlayStations and the Xboxes, and when it comes to the jigs and things like that, do you pour your own lead? Do you do them from bottom up, or do you buy your jigs all ready to go so you can tie them?
No, I pour everything. pour everything. I've you know, if well, you've probably seen in my live, me cleaning the heads up,
Yeah.
with my files and
Sure.
where you have to take the sprue off and everything leaves a little spot there. So I'll hit that with the file, knock that down, then powder coat, bake them. There's a lot of things that people don't see. They hey, I want a chatterbait, and you're like, okay, and you grab a head and go to tying. It looks like you just like it's just that quick of a process. You don't
Right.
see all the extra work that goes into it.
Well, and I think that's what helped me. Besides Bubba's Custom Lures, Swamp Rooster, and a few other people, I'm not just gonna shout out a bunch of names and get off subject, but that's what kind of got me started with the podcast, is to let people know what it takes to make one bait, whether it's plastics, tying, or at the paint booth doing hard baits. Those things, they don't just pop up and they're ready to go. It takes us some time to get them done.
It's a lot of prep work.
There's a lot of prep work. There's a lot of research. We were speaking about this the other night. There's a lot of research that goes into it. You can't just find all this information, and not everybody is willing to divulge every single aspect. My gosh, you got to put a little effort in yourself. If you want to know exact something, exactly how much a bait should weigh when it's done and clear coated, and how does it swim if I do this or that, and tuning them in, you got to put in a little effort. You got to get into it. So
yeah, and I watched when I first started making chatterbaits. I watched the YT videos and seen, and I did it like I watched, and I started making the chatterbaits. Well, I was at the creek one day, and I found I wasn't having any scent back, or I wasn't having any trouble, but I found out for myself a flaw in that design, and it was a failure point, and I eliminated it. And I played around with things, and I still never had anybody complain. Nobody sent nothing back or nothing, but
right.
I got ahead of it when I saw that was an issue. I got ahead of it and changed the way I did it and eliminated that failure point.
That's awesome, man. That's really what it's all about. So it just takes time. It's not something that just because you ask for a jig, we've got everything you ever wanted just sitting there ready to go. When you ask for a custom jig, that's what you get. From the powder coat that you're putting on the head to maybe even what size hook you want in that jig. Just because it's and correct me if I'm wrong, but just because it's a half-ounce jig doesn't mean it's exactly this hook every time. Maybe somebody wants a certain style of hook in there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
custom's custom.
Hooks. I mean, that's another thing. You got to find a quality hook that can take the stress of the prep work before going into it, after, and on top of that, a hook that's really sharp and stays sharp.
Yeah.
After a few hook sets, it's not dull, and it'll hold up. And I've done that, and thankfully I get a lot of. I don't want people to get hurt on the hooks, but I get a lot of people like, man, I stabbed myself 3 times the other day, and it's like, I've got red stuff, and it's like, man, stay away from the point of the hook.
Who was I talking to? Yeah, I think it might have been Stroud's. I'm just going to say it was. They actually send out little disclaimers in their stuff. Hooks are sharp. Caution, He's like, I don't know if somebody's going to, but if I send it out, they don't have a chance to, I hurt myself on your hook. Because
I would like to think that everybody has enough common sense to know. I mean, You would think, but hey, I get myself on my own hooks all the time.
We all like a sticky hook, one that as you run your finger across it just to test it out. I mean, it's grabbing that skin on your finger, and I think that's what we look for. And I sharpen hooks all the time while I'm out fishing. You know, I have a little sharpening stone, and I run that hook down there after I've caught so many fish on it. Whether it needs it or not, I give it a little sharpening. But we all want that sharp hook. Hooks to the finger hurt. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah, that's one thing I like. I want to make sure that they're good, strong hooks, and they're not going to dull up easy. If they dull up, you've either caught more fish than you should have with that one hook, or you've been running it straight through rocks and beating it into the rocks for a while too.
Yeah. Well, I don't disagree. A hook holds an edge for a long time. I do run them through the rocks quite a bit. Lake Erie is a lot of rock, and I can't tell you how many baits are down there of mine where it got caught in the rocks and you just never get it back.
I go through a lot of baits myself. I mean, look, I don't care. I'll see a spot and I'm like, I'm gonna lose a bait in there, but God, there's probably a bass sitting right there, and I'm in there. I don't care. I can't help it. If I think there's a bass in there, I'm going after it, and I'm probably gonna lose a bait. And you know what I'm gonna do after I lose that bait? I'm gonna tie another one on, and I'm going right back to that spot. So I'm like, damn it! I didn't lose that bait for nothing. I'm getting that bass.
Like Babe Ruth, you're calling your shots. I'm either going to lose that jig or I'm going to catch a fish. Here we go. We've all done it. We've all been there. That or you try and, skip into an area underneath a overhang or something, and you're like, man, I don't think I can get it in there. And sure enough, you can't. It's hanging up in there with the rest of them.
Hey, I'll go with the treetops laying in the water. That's guaranteed snagging up. But that's where the bass want to be.
That's the main thing about fishing. And me and the guy I fish with said it the other day. You're going to lose baits, and if you're not losing baits, you're not really getting them up in there where the fish are. Just because you can see that branch going down in the water and you can see all the limb work down there. Doesn't mean you pitch in front of all that stuff, because the bass are back in that stuff. You can catch them by pitching in front of it and beside it and stuff like that. Sure, they'll come out and grab it. But there's other ones that are deep in there.
Nah, you got to get in the sketchy stuff, man.
You got to do it.
That's where the bass are, especially if you're on a place that's pressured. They kind of tuck back in a little deeper, so you got to take it to them.
Yeah,
if you want to catch them.
I do not disagree. So when it comes to the jig tying, we're going to jump back into that. Are there different types of skirt material you like to use? I know for me, when I say jig, I automatically think bass jig, like that plastic material type skirt. But there's other materials you can use to tie those bass jigs, correct?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you have hair jigs, marabou jigs, it's all different. You got rabbit fur. Dang, I'm trying to think of everything. I mean, different types of feathers. I know marabou is a feather, but there's different types. You got, hackle and...
What's your most requested when it comes to jigs in general? Is it usually plastic skirted style, or is it some of those marabous and stuff?
Yeah, it's the silicone. No, not silicone. What is that? Is it silicone? Yeah, silicone.
That's what I've always thought it was.
Yeah, it's silicone.
So there was a point when I seen some videos of what they called like live skirt, where it actually had a floating kind of movement to the skirt material.
Yeah.
And I think it might have been iCast or something like that, big box. But it wasn't just a simple silicone. So yes, that silicone, you throw it in the water and you dance it around a little bit, and that skirt kind of does this. But this was more of a floating. They almost called it live skirting.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody else has
living
heard
rubber. Living
Okay.
rubber.
Thank
I
you.
don't use any of it right now. Honestly, the skirting's a rabbit hole. It's a deep rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not on it yet.
Yeah.
I'll get to it eventually.
I've never actually used it, and of course it's intriguing because you think, well, you can pitch that bait out there and leave it set. You know, we all say it, you know, today when I go out, I'm going to fish with a little more patience. I'm going to slow down. And I always find myself speeding up and having to tell myself all the time, slow down, slow down. You know, when you pitch that jig out there, leave it set for a minute. Don't just pick it up and start working it right away. I mean, don't get me wrong. Once you figure out how the fish want to bite the jig, of course, that's how you're going to fish. But that live rubber intrigued me because of the simple fact, once I throw it in there, in my mind, I know that skirt's just kind of moving around. So
yeah, I'll have to try it sometime. It doesn't come in tabs like the silicone skirt rubber does that I use. It comes on basically like a roll, and you got to cut it to length, and then you've got to kind of, if you're doing multicolor, you've got to get your strands and get your mix right and all that. And it's a much slower process to build one.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I wanted to hit on, you were talking about slowing down and stuff. I've been catching quite a few with slowing down my chatterbait. Yeah. Getting a slower knock on that blade. But kind of, I don't know, I try to keep it in a certain spot in the water column right now, and that's kind of up higher, you know.
Yep.
And so I kind of, not too bad, but I'll high stick my rod a little bit.
Yeah.
So that it'll stay where I want it, keep it at a certain pace, but and that's been getting smoked because, what was it? When I got off live last night, I just got a new ultralight rod, and I wanted to catch a bass on that ultralight because bass are fun on a lighter rod. So yep. I was throwing one of my, it's the same head and everything as my micro chatters, but I just didn't put a blade on it. And I caught a couple last night, and I remember the second bass I caught. This was, God, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And when I picked him up, his body come up across my hand. And I was like, dang, you're hot. And this, like I said, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and he was hot. I mean, he felt hot. He was warmer than me.
Still warm, yeah. Well, the water temperatures got to be going up tremendously down by you. I know it is up here as well, and I believe that's why we were catching them in right at that weed line. Now, you had to be, it got specific the other day when we were out. You had to be able to find the rock coming down the bank into the water. And if you were just on a mucky bottom spot on the bank, you weren't catching it. It had to be rock coming down in. And then the weed line, of course, is receded from the bank. And you had to work it down the bank with just that, lift it up and drop it. And when it got to that weed line, they would finally come out of the weed line and get it. But
it's probably cooler right there.
Exactly.
You done it, because I would say as hot as it is around rocks is probably where they're not going to be, because those rocks, they get hot, and not only that, they hold that heat too. So
yeah, you're not wrong. At Lake Erie, yep. Nathan Wright, he's on Lake Erie. Yep. A lot of Lake Erie people out there, let me tell you. Nice place to fish. So we're jumping all around, but we're gonna do something here. We're going to start giving out the code. Thank you so much. We're going to start giving out the code for the Pretty Lure giveaway, and the first letter for that code is S. The letter is S. Write it down, remember it, however you got to do it, but we're going to do that Pretty Lure giveaway when your name is called by the number that's been picked. You'll have to give me this code back, and the first letter is S. So, moving right along, let's see where we're at with the questions. Man, I feel like I could just talk to you all night about everything. We don't have to stay on point, that's for darn sure.
I like what Doe Run said right there. Probably going to have some bait fish unaliving from the heat.
Yeah.
Especially something that's sensitive like shad and stuff like that.
Yeah, that weightless fall resembles that bait fish. Maybe having its little heat stroke.
Yep.
You're right. You're right.
Then you get little stagnant areas that don't have a lot of fresh, interchange of water, and that stuff's going to get real hot.
Well, and that's kind of where we were. We were in a pocket. We were in a bay, if you will, off of the main lake, and it has current, but where we were was tucked back in even a pocket of that, and. I'll tell you, they were running a tournament. And I'll tell you right now, this is why tournament fishermen hide the fish that they catch. So there was a tournament going on. There were fishermen out there. We were all the way up on the bank. I bet we weren't 10 feet from the bank. All the other fishermen were maybe 30, 40 yards off the bank. And they didn't seem to be catching anything. And as soon as we started pulling fish in right off that bank, 3 boats moved within 10 feet of the bank, and they started toward us like this. And I'm like, I'm not moving. I wouldn't change my tournament.
I wouldn't change where I was casting and my technique either.
Nope. So, I guess my point is once you find fish, I mean, people will move in on you, but I think that's why tournament fishermen are so quick about it. They may catch that big bass, and boy, inside they're just excited as all get out, but they grab that fish out of the water and drop him in the live well and look around like nothing ever happened, because if there's other tournament fishermen around, they're going to start moving in.
Yeah.
So.
Jose.
It was a good day, though. What is your favorite jig color scheme to do?
Oh, man.
And it can be crappie, bass jig, whatever style jig you want.
A crappie pattern, I do have a crappie pattern that is really good. I don't know if I have a favorite. Whichever one's working, whatever's they're hitting. I'm not that loyal to a jig, If they're not hitting, I'm moving on. We'll try something else.
Yeah.
But it's probably gonna have something with green pumpkin in it, though. If I had a favorite, it's gonna have some green pumpkin.
Yep. I find myself throwing lots of naturals. Everybody knows my favorite color is orange, rust. I don't care. You can call it either one. But I throw a lot of natural colors, just because that's my favorite color, and it catches me as a fisherman when they're being put up in the camera, and I'm like, ooh, I got to have that bait. That doesn't mean I'm not fishing those natural colors. Welcome in, A706. I want to do a quick shout out if you don't mind. Outdoors with Tiny's in here. Outdoors with Tiny runs his own podcast, and it is Real Talk with Tiny. And you have to watch his posts. He does it on different days at different, mainly at the same time. I think it's 8 Central. Is that correct? But
he's on Eastern time.
Is he?
Yeah, he's in Eastern Kentucky.
Well, he's in here. He can put it in the chat. He knows. But make sure you guys get over and check out Real Talk with Tiny. I think BFE's been on there. 706 is in the chat. She's been in there. I've met a lot of great people over there, especially Tiny himself. Me and him talk quite often, and he does a great job over there. I was actually on his podcast recently. He was over here on mine, and we bounce ideas, and he does a great job. I really appreciate him, and I watch a lot of his shows, so make sure you get over and check him out. I actually did win a giveaway from him, and one of the baits he sent along with it, and it's going to be hard to show. This is one of Tiny's baits. So he does a really good job. Make sure you get over and check him out. Check out his baits. He has a website you can go to. Speaking of websites, do you have a website they can go to, or do they just have to message you?
No, I have one. It has most of the stuff. Like I haven't got the micro chatters on there yet. Honestly, that's what I said. I'm always forgetting. I'm in 50 different places in my head at all times. I'm trying to figure out what orders I need to be packing up, getting out the door, what materials I'm getting low on, what I need to start making a list of.
You need somebody to help you out.
Man, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, it's a lot more than you think, especially if you're handling everything yourself, and then trying to keep the website updated, and it's rough.
So what is the website that they can go find you at? We've got plenty of people in here. Everybody that was going to come is in here. So if you want to shout out your website or anybody that helps you out a lot, you go right ahead, buddy.
It's just bfebaits.com.
There you go. Make sure you guys get over there and check it out.
There's a link for it in my... I'm always careful because so they always get me in. I always get in trouble for shouting out that stuff. But there's a link in my bio for it and all that.
Okay.
Along with a lot of other good places that I affiliate with and stuff like that. It's a Linktree link.
Oh, perfect.
So
make sure you guys get over and check out his profile and his bio. And that'll get them everywhere they need.
Everything I have there, but yeah, there's quite a few things going on. But and if there's anything in one of those links you got questions, I use everything in those links. I don't just link it because whatever. I use it. So just let me know. But yeah, that's it. Trying to think of who all. Some of y'all know. I have several pro staff that can get you discounts and stuff like that. So
okay, well, there you go. Make sure you guys are checking it out. Make sure you check out some of his pro staff. Give them a follow. I know a lot of these people will definitely give out a code so that you can go anywhere you want and get a discount, but send those guys a follow, right? We're all on here to get follows and build communities and do stuff like that. If you don't know somebody in here, especially down in my chat right now, I've seen 25 bait maker names go by just now. All these people make baits, and we all have different styles. Right here, we got BFE. BFE does the jig tying, bass jigs, crappie jigs, stuff like that. He also does the plastics and the chatter baits. And then you've got other people who do just the airbrushing and stuff. So make sure you're following everybody. You'll meet some good people, trust me.
Oh, yeah, there's one more. I thought Tiny might have sent it to you. I'm gonna bring out the pretty one. This hasn't made it on my website yet, but this goes back to my roots. This is one of my micro chatters, but made it like a marabou crappie jig. Sorry, my air conditioner's blowing that feathers all around, but I did that, because I started out with doing these jigs, and honestly, I love the way the marabou works in the water, or way it moves in the water. So,
well, they're they don't get soaked and come together. Marabou resists the water, correct? So when it hits the water, it fluffs out.
It'll streamline some while it's moving, but it gets a really good flow, kind of a natural movement. That's why I always kind of stuck with Marabou. I just like the way the action in the water. But that's, like I said, I made that one to be something that pops, you know, a color that pops, and there you go. So I got to get those on. Actually, Tiny, I can't remember how many. He's got a handful of them.
Of the chatterbaits?
Well, that style that I just showed.
So there's a comment from Tiny right now. Outdoors with Tiny says, if it wasn't for BFE, I probably wouldn't have even tried a chatterbait. And chatterbait's one of my favorite baits. Now, you catch me 5 years ago, I didn't throw a chatterbait. But now that I do, it is one of my staples. It is usually tied on. And you can use a chatterbait any time of year. And you were saying it earlier, you've been slowing down your presentation with that chatterbait. And if you have the right chatterbait, so I've said it before and I'll tell you again, there are some chatterbaits you almost have to jump start. So when they hit the water and you start reeling, you don't feel them chattering right away. You almost got to give that pole a little jerk. Some of the best chatterbaits will start working almost on that first or second crank. And when they do something like that, you can really slow roll them things back in. And you'll feel them just thump, 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 just nice and slow. And sometimes that'll get you some of the biggest bites.
So I don't have to do that. I can let it hit and start reeling, and it's chattering. And that's like, who was it? One of my buddies, I've been doing it too, but yo-yoing it.
Yes.
Reeling it up, getting that blade action, that chatter, letting it fall, and then starting up again. And I mean, it's immediate. You can feel it and see it in your rod tip. As it's on that downfall, when you start it back up, you can feel that blade instantly.
Yeah.
It's not a let it fall popping in reel. It's just, which I kind of do that anyway, just as a natural instinct, because that's, I'm trying to pop it back up and then let it back down, all that. So,
well, there's a couple different names for them, chatterbait and vibrating jig. That's exactly jig. What it is when you're yo-yoing it, right? You're using it almost just like a jig, bladed jig. There's a few different names, but I'm telling you, it's a versatile bait. You don't have to, it's not just a throw out, crank, and throw it out and crank. Yes, you can catch fish that way. But once you get in tune with how that bait works, like any other confidence bait that you use, I guarantee you're going to catch some fish on that chatterbait. And I see Harper says he's never tried a chatterbait. I suggest you pick one up and give it a shot. I put down spinnerbaits years ago because I never really caught fish on them. I picked up a spinnerbait again this year, and I started absolutely slaying the bass with it. And it's because I took the time with it and I learned how to use it, and my confidence went up with that bait. Sometimes confidence level has a lot to do with what you're fishing with.
J-Rug says even without trailer, I run them. I don't have to have a trailer every time. Sometimes I don't want it, because especially if I'm doing that yo-yoing or slow roll, I don't want a trailer. A, it's weighing it down, but two, if you're slow rolling, that the way the skirt flutters, that trailer can kind of inhibit that movement. You know what I mean? Keep it from doing all that. And then on the yo-yo, when you're dropping it and then popping it back up and reeling hard, that skirt really moves on that. But again, that trailer can deaden it, It's just kind of a dampener on it. It restricts the movement.
You can get erratic behavior out of a chatterbait with a trailer on it, but at the same time, without the trailer, it's more free in the water to kind of not just come back in that straight line. Even if you're just reeling it, when it deflects off that cover, it really moves erratically. A lot of times I see guys throwing the paddle tails with them. I do not ever throw a paddle tail. I've never thrown a paddle tail.
Me. That's a sin to me. Put a paddle tail on a chatterbait.
I do not.
Paddle tail's a swim jig. I will not put a paddle tail on a chatterbait.
Nope. I just use if I'm going for the minnow style look, I'm using just a V-tail type fluke. I'll use something like that, or I'm using a crawl. And to be honest with you, if I'm doing the yo-yo technique, because they are hanging out near the bottom, I will throw a crawl trailer on. But that's not to say that there's any real right or wrong. If you're catching fish with them, you're doing the right thing. That's all there is to it.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people say rig them upside. I've done it. I'm not a fan, because you have two actions that are fighting each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That paddle tail is kicking hard and it's disrupting the blade, and the blades, they're just fighting each other. And not saying it doesn't work. I'm not saying it doesn't work, and I'm not saying it will not catch fish. I'm just saying they're just kind of screwing with each other.
Yeah. Bagwell says the same thing. Yeah. Not saying it doesn't work.
With the swim Cinco. I'm not saying it don't work. I'm just saying I don't, that's not my preferred way to do it.
I did it at first, and I gave it up pretty quickly. I'm with BFE. I usually don't do it. But that's not to say it doesn't work. And I've heard guys say, oh, you do the paddle tail upside down. And I know I'm not right, but if you put it upside down, it stays higher in the water column. If you put it right side up, it goes lower in the water column, something like that. I could see that being the case. But I don't know about BFE, but I can work it in different water columns just by where I'm holding the rod tip. And like he said, sometimes he's high sticking it a little bit because he wants it to stay higher up in that water column. So there's no wrong way to fish it. If you're catching fish, fish it like that.
Right.
100%.
Right. What I'll usually say is, on a chatterbait, my thought on it is my trailer. I like my trailer to be something that doesn't have an action of its own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The blade is giving it an action. And like I said, I'm not saying I'm right. It's just it's just not how I like it. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Something with the tail like this, it's got a lot of movement, but if you put this on a jig hook and cast it and reel out, it's coming in on a straight line. It's not doing anything.
Yeah. There's lots of ways to fish them. I see Bass Cat saying he doesn't put trailers on chatterbaits or spinnerbaits. I don't put a trailer on a spinnerbait ever.
My son caught his PB smallmouth last year with a trailer on a spinnerbait.
There you go.
So teach their own. I tend to not run one on a spinnerbait either.
Nope.
But I'm not against it, and I will do it, but I tend to not.
I'll tell you right now, if I'm fishing on a boat with you and I'm not running a trailer and you start catching fish, I'm going to put the trailer on.
Yeah.
That's all it boils down to. If it's catching fish, do it.
Killjoy said he'll take skirts off and run only a trailer. I'll do that too, which I won't take the skirt off. I'll just paint me up a head, put a blade on it, and throw one of these on it, and run it like that.
Yeah.
Especially on the micros. The micros, I put a little 2-inch crappie size bait on that and run it with, just a blade and I'll paint the head. I might not paint the head.
Yeah. Let's get you guys another letter of this code. And that letter is going to be A. A is the next letter you're going to need for the Pretty Lures giveaway. I knew it was going to happen like this. I spoke with Bfe the other day on the phone, and the conversation flowed so great. I think we were on the phone an hour and a half. It felt like 10 minutes. So.
It was a little bit.
My wife had just got home. She's, dinner's ready, and I'm not saying this like I should have got off the phone. She really doesn't care. But the conversation was great, and we just kept talking and kept talking. Finally, I'm like, man, I got to get off here and get something to eat. So
right.
I knew it was going to be a great interview, and we've talked about your chatterbaits, and we've talked about your tying as well. But something we haven't talked much about is your plastics, and he does plastics as well. So let's not forget about that. Before we get into plastics, don't forget this podcast is sponsored by Pretty Lures. Make sure you get over to Pretty Lures for all your bait making needs. They have absolutely everything over there. What they don't have, they can either get for you or lead you in the right direction. Rosalie and David over there are just some great people. The customer service is exceptional. They are getting busier, like any business. That was the plan, was to get more and more business and get busier and help more and more bait makers. So be a little patient with them, but they're on it. Their customer service is great. So make sure and get over and check them out.
That chatterbait, the like the crappie jig I was showing you a minute ago.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, most of the material came from them. Trying to think what the flashing didn't come. I had the flashing already here, but the marabou feather and the chenille for the body came from them.
That's right. The big sale is still going on to the 4th. They started it before Father's Day. It's going on to the 4th. So heavily discounted stuff over there, and it varies. Just depends on what you're looking at. Make sure you get over and check out Pretty Lure and get in on this sale. Get your discount codes. They have plenty of pro staff as well. Make sure you're following Pretty Lure's pro staff. There's many of them out there. There's many of them in the chat. If you're a pro staffer for Pretty Lures in the chat, give us a thumbs up so they know who they can follow and maybe where they can get a discount code. What do you think a basic cost would be if you decided you wanted to do plastics? We're going to give you a tough question.
Now that one's easy because we discussed that. I think anything you want to do in bait making, just to get a start. I don't know everything, but I feel like I've got a little bit of a idea that you're looking around the $500 to $600 mark to get started on just about anything.
That's not cheap.
No,
it's not ridiculous, but
you can go cheaper, especially if you're doing it for personal use. You can always find cheap. You could even get started for as little as a few $100, but that's going to be, you're going to be really limited on what you can do. I think we talked about that. You think about the big things, because I don't paint hard baits. Right. Not going to either. I have zero desire. A, I know my patience, and B, my budget can't handle it, and I don't want to keep up with more inventory and more stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to get a basic start, you're probably looking at $500 to $600. That's just to get a basic start. I mean, when I started doing chatterbaits, I already had lead. I already had a lead pot. I had to get the mold. I had to buy skirting, hooks, and all that. And by the time it was all done, I probably had $500 to $600 in it. And I've looked into spinner baits, buzz baits, stuff like that. Each one of those you're probably looking at to get healthy into, or at least get a decent or a small start. You're looking at minimum about 5. And you said, what was it? You said, I think you even said Pretty Lures had a airbrush kit.
They do
run around a few $100. Is that correct?
It's not the Pretty Lures kit, and Pretty Lures can put a comment down in here on what your basic kit is for a starter, please. But I think you're in that 500 or below range to get a good start into airbrushing. I don't think you're far off on the pricing at all. And like you said, depends on what you're looking to do. If you're just looking to paint for yourself and you just want a few colors of paints, yeah. But our rabbit hole is the blanks and the paints. The brushes and all that can definitely become a rabbit hole with all the air compressors and brushes and things like that and clear coats. But Pretty Lures said you can get 3 something. The advanced kit is about $239. So if you're somebody that's here in the chat looking at getting into bait making, maybe airbrushing, Pretty Lures has a full starter kit. So the advanced kit is by far the better one. Okay. So right in that range, yeah, I think you're pretty good at saying right around that 500. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's minimum. Like I said, you're not going to have near all the bells and whistles, but you can dip your toes into about anything for around that price.
Yeah.
Like I said, you can always shop around and find stuff that are made more for budget and stuff like that. Like I said, just the lower you go, the more limited you're going to be.
Yeah.
But that's fine if you're just doing it for yourself and you just want to paint, a handful, and then advance as you go. But the further you go and the longer you're at it, the commas start kicking in.
Well, let me ask you this. Just a rough estimate off the top of your head. How many molds do you think you have just for plastics?
Total, counting duplicates, tail molds, 80s, something like that, high 70s, low 80s.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Everybody I know that has gotten into plastics, they're like, I'm just going to get a couple molds, just, the things I want to do. And the next thing you know, it's 10, it's 15, it's 16, it's 17. Oh, do you have this one? Can you make that one? And before you know it, you're sitting there with, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 molds. And those things are not cheap, What's the average cost of a mold, do you think?
Ooh, man, I've got molds that cost, say, $125 up to $550.
Yeah.
I would say, for the majority of molds, you can get by $150 to $200.
Yep.
I've got some that are well over that, but not a lot. Not a lot, because that takes a lot of baits to get your return back. Not even profit, just to break even. You got make a lot of baits.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna laugh. I'm gonna pick at Hannah 706 Baits.
Definitely.
When she first started, she's like, I'm just gonna make some stuff for myself. I'm not selling, so I'm just gonna buy a few molds. And she could tell you right now, I laughed. And I said, that's cute.
That's cute. You're so funny. By the way, you can go buy some of her baits too, because she's not just making them for herself anymore.
Like Lauren says, people say, how much have you spent on bait making over the? I'm like, I have no clue, and I don't want to know. I do not want to know.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, I don't want to know. I would probably like get bad anxiety from it. It's just like, no way.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some people who, they have tons and tons of stuff, right? And you accumulate this stuff over time. You've been doing it for 3 years, and you may have accumulated faster than somebody else. I know Lauren's Lures has painted for a lot of years. I know Barrett's Baits has painted for a lot of years. Barrett is David from Pretty Lures, by the way. But you accumulate this stuff over time. When we're sitting here on a live and somebody shows, their booth and their paints and their blanks, most of this stuff didn't happen overnight. If you're wanting to get into bait making itself, start simple. The rest will drag you in no matter what. Oh.
Yeah, one day you're sitting there like, yeah, I got a few things. I wish I had more. Next thing you look over and it's like, God, I got so much crap over here. Like,
yeah.
Then you got to start like figuring out ways to organize it and shelf it and all that. You know what I mean? You don't want to see over in that direction. You do not want to see it.
Hey, that's something nobody ever talks about. Now that I've got all these paints, where the heck am I going to put them? Now that you've got all these skirts and these molds and the lead and the powders, and where are you going to put it all? Now you're buying organizers and desks or you're building, and oh man, it gets deep. It gets deep.
When I started, I just carved me out a spot big enough for what I was doing. This is a 12 by 12 lawnmower shed. Where just one of them pre-manufactured sheds for like like you can put lawnmowers, tools, whatever. I carved me out a little spot what I needed, and thankfully I have another barn next door because I'm constantly moving stuff out of here and into that barn so I can make more room for my stuff. And now there's very little of this shop is, still got stuff from storage in it.
I thought you were trying to tell us you have a workshop and across the yard you got a warehouse.
Yeah. Well, that barn acts as my warehouse. But I'm looking, I still got my drill press over here. It's tall as I am. It's one of those tall drill presses. There was a 220 welder in here and got it out.
The chat is going nuts with all these bait makers saying, we all have that corner. You should see this corner. I have totes on totes on totes.
I have people all the time, you need to clean your shop up. I'm like, well, first off, I don't have the time, so if you want to come help me, and then two, if I did have a little bit of time, what am I going to do with it? Where is it going to go? Everything is packed.
Let me tell you, other people may look at things as a mess, but for the most part, I know exactly where everything is.
The
if I clean it up, I have a hard time finding it.
That's my problem. It's organized chaos. If you were to clean this up, I wouldn't know where to find it. Well, I don't know. I can't find crap as it is. At least I know a general direction to look in, though.
I thrive in chaos. This chat is going off tonight. I'll tell you, I appreciate everybody coming in. You need a break or anything? We can give you a quick break if you need one. Okay.
No, I'm good.
I appreciate each and every one of you coming in here, and I know a lot of you are repeats. You're in here every single time we do this, and your dedication is appreciated. Thank you so much. And I know we have a lot of new people in here tonight. Make sure you go over and follow the YT page. It's The Pondcast 2025. It's all one word. We have 29 previous episodes over there. You can watch every single episode that was ever ran here. And make sure you send me a follow on TikTok, Uncle Corey's Custom Lures, and a subscribe over on the YT page. Water, you might need that. You might be sweating up in there.
That's what I've been drinking. I had this thing full, and it's not bad. It's 87 degrees in here, according to the thermostat.
I will tell you what, my wife treats me so well. I came home from work. She works in the nursing, so she is in an air-conditioned building, but it doesn't matter where you're at right now. If it's hot, it's hot. Even in the AC, it's not that comfy AC. It's still humid, but I was telling her how hot it was at work and stuff, and I came home, and she had already made up chicken and put it on a salad, and we had salad and peppers and tomatoes and just all that good stuff that you want after a hot day. And I couldn't have appreciated that more. You know, I've been drinking water all day and everything else. I'm kind of sick of drinking water, so it was nice to come home to a salad. It kind of takes care of that thirst after a long hard day. But.
Well, you just don't want to eat something heavy after a long. You just want to eat light, because if you eat heavy after being in that heat all day, you're gonna be sick.
Yeah.
My wife and mother-in-law did that to my son a couple of years ago. He had ball practice in this heat, and he hadn't gone out yet. They gave him something, and I was like, do I need to stop and grab him something to snack on before practice? No, he ate, and I can't remember what it was, and I looked at him, my eyes got like that big around, they were like, what? I was like, y'all gave him that knowing he's fixed to go out here and run around in this heat. He'll be all right, blah, blah. Halfway through practice, he was puking.
Yeah.
I was like, and I called my wife, I said, you know what your son's doing right now? And she's like, what? He's throwing his guts up. She's like, why, what happened? I said, you gave him that food before he went. I said, you cannot put something heavy on somebody and then send them out in the heat.
Something like beef and noodles and mashed potatoes with biscuits and green beans. That's not what you want when it's hot out.
No, you can't do it. That's why that's why when it starts getting cooler, you hear people say it's soup season or whatever. It's like, you don't want some big beef stew, hearty, thick meal on your belly when you got to go out and work in 100-degree heat.
I fully agree. So getting back to your plastics, and this is one of those questions that people can answer or not. Is there a certain plastisol that you prefer to use, or are you not too specific when it comes to that?
No, I've run bait plastics since the beginning. It's I know people say, "Oh, you should try this." Look, if it ain't, like I said earlier, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I've found good quality. Everybody that's ever bought from me has been satisfied, and they're happy with the quality that it is and how well it holds up. I mean, it's a soft plastic. It's not designed to last forever. You know they're gonna tear up. Regardless of whatever, you get a fish that short strikes it on a paddle tail or something with feet, whatever, it's probably going to get ripped off. That's just the nature of soft plastics.
Yep.
So you're just trying to find a good balance that'll hold up under normal conditions. Like I said, you have you do a hook set, you miss, and it goes up in a tree, and when you pull it down, it's ripped half the legs or the tail, or that's going to happen regardless.
Yep.
So under normal conditions, just catching fish, what I've used has always worked, and that's just what I stick with. I don't need to waste money going around, this plastic, it works pretty good, but I like it just works, so stick with it.
Yep. I hear you. For maybe somebody that's new into plastics, there's research that can be done. When you're doing plastics, I don't think there's anything there's plenty, but one major important thing is temperature. what temperature are you getting this plastic to before you're actually putting it to the molds? So 2 parts for you is what is a good temperature, and do you preheat molds?
Not this time of year. Everything's already so hot.
Right.
It's warm. In the cooler weather, yes, I'll do what I can. This time of year, I'm not that worried about it. But obviously, when you're doing plastic, initially you have to get it at least 350.
Okay.
Because your plastic is 2-part. It has a hardener in it, and it's activated at 350. But I don't pour that hot. You want to pour. To me, you want to pour on the cooler side, as cool as you can. There are some molds that are exceptions to these things. I have one mold that I have to pour warmer than I pour other molds. Some molds you need to pour cooler. If not, they're bad about denting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I have another mold that if you pour too cold, it leaves issues in the bait. So it needs to be poured hotter. So sometimes you just got to play around and see what your mold wants to do. There's no set exact, temps and all that. But generally, I pour on the cooler side. Just, like I said, some molds are different.
Yeah. Good answer, though. I mean, maybe that'll help somebody out who's new to pouring or something like that.
Yeah, and let me just say this. Get you some PPE.
You know, guys that don't use gloves.
I didn't do it, and I paid the price last year. I paid them. Yeah, I had an emergency room bill, a wound care, and then a burn center bill.
Wow.
I had to go to Nashville and 2 or 3 times to the burn center at Vanderbilt. That stuff don't play. It's no joke, man. But so I never wore PPE. Never had a trouble with getting burnt, but that one time, and now when stuff's hot, I'm wearing that glove. Heat resistant glove.
You keep the gloves around now, don't you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Tiny's actually seen he's seen the pictures. My hand looked. Yeah. After I went to the burn center, my hand looked like Freddy Krueger hand.
Well, that stuff don't just run off. I mean, depending on what happened or how you did it, I mean, that stuff is like clinging to you.
Oh, it sticks. It sticks, and you can't just wipe it off because now you're burnt on 2 hands.
Oh, man. Wear PPE. Make sure you got them gloves on for that hot stuff. I know y'all may do this every day, and you've done it forever, and you've never hurt yourself. You're not worried about it, and you say, nah. Well, here's a good story on why you should wear it anyway, because you never know what can happen.
My wife didn't appreciate me running in the house at 2 a.m. and hollering, "Get up, we got to go to the ER."
Yeah.
She didn't appreciate that one bit, me in the house hollering, because I'll tell you something, that burn hurt. That burn hurt bad.
Yeah. Well, it's got chemicals in it too.
Yeah. I was in the ER, and I had a damp rag on it, and that was not helping at all. And my wife, I had to, I told her, I said, "Hey, come stand at the door and hold it open." I went in the bathroom, and I turned the cold water on and just had it running over my hand. And she stood at the door, so when they called me back, I didn't miss it,
Yeah.
And they, when I got back in there, they, I was in the dang room back there, and I just went to the sink and turned the water on. I couldn't do it, and they finally had to bring me one of them little tubs of ice water to put my hand down in, and I mean, it just stayed. Because as soon as it came out in that air, it just went to on fire. So I can't preach PPE enough, and I don't do it, but I've seen somebody, when you're pushing that plastic out after you've shot, sometimes those ends get little bits of hard plastic, and when you push, it can hit and spray back at you. And I know someone that got lucky and missed their eye, but they didn't miss it by much. So
my goodness,
it's not all just fun and game and making baits and cutting up. It can get serious.
Yeah, that's not good. PPE is important.
Exactly, North Waters. Exactly.
We're just gonna let you all read that comment.
Yeah, I'm not going.
He's been watching too much. What is that guy's name? Ricky the Boss. He's been watching too much Ricky the Boss because he had a PPE video that he did. Do you watch Ricky the Boss?
I've seen that one.
He got everybody to wear their safety glasses by saying that little comment right there. Anyway.
Well, I wasn't going to throw her, but yeah, that was Hannah that got hit in the eye, or hit close to the eye.
Oh, it was.
But yeah, so she got lucky with just a spot, the entire back of my hand. Yeah. The entire back of my hand, the whole sides of these two fingers, the majority of this finger and this finger. My thumb was the only thing that didn't get burnt. I even got on these two a little bit on the front of my finger, and it was weird because, wearing a wedding ring, when I got to where I could take it off, that was the only spot I had living skin left. Was where my wedding ring was. Everything else, and after a couple of days, I had a blister about yay tall, and it went all the way up. I couldn't bend my fingers. It was like that all the way up.
Wow! So you're actually lucky it didn't do more, and I maybe it did, but it didn't do more damage than just burning the skin. Severe burns can get all the way down in there.
Luckily, it was majority, almost, it was probably 99% second degree. They said I did have some spots that were third degree, but it wasn't enough to do a skin graft, but they wanted to keep a close eye on it. And I can't remember my wife if she was in here. I think we had to go back a week after my initial, or maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. But it's amazing how well it healed. But they know what they're doing up there at that burn center, and they gave me some really good creams and ointments, and my wife did an awesome job helping me with the wound care and all that. And now, I mean, I can show you back, man. You can't tell. I mean, it looks normal. I mean, this is an unburnt hand. That's the burnt hand, so you can't even tell. So their treatment was good. But
well, there's a good lesson on PPE. Hannah said once she burnt herself, you had to one-up her, huh?
I promise I'd rather let her stay ahead of me on that.
He says he promises he'd rather you won that competition.
Yeah. Anyway.
What's your favorite flake to use when it comes to your plastics? Is there a certain flake that you would rather use over any other?
Not color-wise or?
Brand?
Not really. As long as it holds up to the heat. I'm not... because of the way things work, with shipping and stuff, shipping costs. If I'm on one website and I've used their glitter and it works and holds up, I'm going to order while I'm ordering stuff there, so I can, because ordering from two different sites, well, you're already down around $20 just in shipping costs.
Yeah. And there's different size flakes too, right? Like,
oh, there's so many different sizes. Flakes a rabbit hole too.
It's a rabbit hole all by itself.
I don't really go down that hole. I stick to about 3 sizes, and that's it.
Yeah.
And just to keep things from getting too complicated.
Yeah. Anybody who's here and paying attention, make sure you're looking at the chat as well. Everybody that's down in the chat always throws out some good suggestions at different places to get all this stuff. So make sure you're paying attention to the chat and reading that. There's plenty of bait makers down there throwing out good suggestions. So
Killjoy asked, how many colors do I have? Yes.
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 That's the answer you get when there's way too many to even
I'm not counting. I'm not counting.
Between that and powders for the jig heads and stuff like that, I couldn't imagine.
You got colorants, you got glitter, you got mica powders, you got just, I don't know, there's so many different things.
So you started off making baits for yourself. Who was the first one you ever made a bait for? Do you remember?
I don't.
No?
God,
okay.
I don't.
All right.
Nah, I'm not even going to try to remember that.
All right.
It's been a lot.
Well, seeing as how you can't remember that, then I don't feel so bad. How many letters have I given out to this code? I forget now. 2 of them.
The 2 that I can think of.
You can go ahead. The 2 that you can think of. So, 2.
Harper says 2. Okay.
Yeah, and I think I know which ones they were, but I'm not 100%. So, moral of the story is I got so wrapped up in this conversation, I've forgotten which of the letters I've given out. I know one of them, and
I don't have you on the book, or I'd message what they are.
That's the crappy part about doing it. Oh, I see it now. There you go. Just put it out there. Why not? That works.
I wasn't going to do it.
That works for me. It was actually my fault. I try and pay attention to how I give out these letters, but sometimes we make mistakes, and that's okay.
There you go, Skeeter.
We have 2 of them. A constant vowel. I like that. We're going to go ahead and give out the last letter of the code. We are getting deep into this interview, but this has been just great. The conversation's flowing and the questions are going through. So we're going to go ahead and give out the last letter of this, and you should all figure it out by the time I give it out. I've mixed it up, but it's still the same. And the last letter is U. So the last letter is U.
I wonder what you can do with those 3.
Come on, it's fitting. It's,
Oh, yeah.
It's that time of month. Let's go.
Yeah.
So
I had a dilemma which hat to wear, because I just got this one and Tom made it for me, and I love that. Look at that cork.
Oh wow, yeah.
But I have my Bass Pro 250 hat. You know, the themed for the holiday coming up.
Yep. A lot of people are going with the 250. Yep.
Yeah, I've actually. Oh, there it is. It's sitting right there. I had a dilemma. Let's just swap it up. How about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
There you go.
There you go.
250 or the 4th of July edition.
The 4th is coming up. I hope everybody gets out there and has a great time. Remember to stay safe. We've been talking about PPE and staying safe. Those fireworks are no joke either.
Yeah.
So
come back on the 5th with the same amount of digits you came into the 4th with.
There you go. That's a good way to put it. Let's see. We've jumped all around tonight. It has been a great interview. But let's start with Do you fish mostly from the bank or the boat? You fish in your pond most of the time, but do you have a boat that you take out fishing as well?
Yeah, not nothing big time. I have a 14-foot John boat, and it's not like a bit wide one. It's a narrow. It's 1436.
Yep.
I have
That's exactly what I got out here too.
Yeah, I have a 6-horse Evinrude, and a 55-pound trolling motor.
Y'all just like working the ER on the fourth. Sorry, go ahead.
No, me and my son get out and go on it, and yeah, we have a good time. But it's one of those where when we're fishing, and I've had to teach my son, you don't make sudden movements.
No,
because if he goes to moving around while I'm sitting there reeling in, I'll be in the water. If next thing he knows. So he knows, which I'll get him sometimes too. I'll jerk real quick and, oh God, he almost made me fall. And it's like, oops, sorry.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to.
I know all about being in the 1436. It's on it moves a lot, right? It's easy to move it around. It doesn't tip super easy, but if you both lean the same way at the same time, you're going to feel like you're going in.
Yeah. Well, and I tell you what I hate more than that is you cannot sit still. It don't even matter if the wind is dead calm. You're moving somehow.
It's so light. It's so light.
You're sitting on the left side of the seat and you break wind, you're 10 feet up the damn water to the other side,
That is the biggest problem I found. I started off with kayaks, then I moved to the John boat. Now I have a bass tracker. But what led me to the bass tracker was I was so sick of being on a spot where I wanted to fish and the wind blow a little bit and you start drifting away.
God forbid there's any current.
No, yeah. I think my next step is a power pole. Just because even if you have a trolling motor with spot lock and that wind starts blowing, you hit the spot lock, the nose of the boat's always going to go into the wind to keep you in the spot you're in, right? So even with spot lock, you're not always on the spot you wanted to fish. Now, if you're in the right depth of water and you have the power pole, you can set the power pole down and it'll keep you right where you're at. So that might be one of my next steps, but it's a rabbit hole.
Yeah. Well, when you're on a bass boat or something, it's great to be the man on the trolling motor because you control where you're going. You get, with a hand controlled on the back of the boat, it sucks. You spend more time adjusting where you're at, and the guy on the front of the boat, he's just fishing, having a good time. You're constantly back there. Crap, we blew this way. Let me get us back around, and as soon as you cast, and you start reeling in, you're in that perfect spot. Next thing you know, the boat's starting to go like this, and it's just messing you up. And it's like, God, I know I could have caught something on that cast, but the boat wouldn't sit still,
Yeah.
So, pain in the ass.
I got to jump to the comments for a second because I am sitting here just laughing. And like you said, don't lean one way and fart, you'll be clear down over there. And Taiwan On says, we call that the redneck airboat.
Yeah.
Skeeter's Lure says, rule number 547, don't eat chili before fishing with a John boat.
Yeah.
All right.
I wonder, do you have to register? Because like in Tennessee, if you don't have a motor and you're just using like paddles and stuff, you don't have to register your boat. But technically, if you eat chili before you go out, is that considered gas powered? Now you got to register
it. I'm going to say they're going to make you register it after that. That is gas powered.
Yeah, now you're gas powered.
That was pretty good. Pretty good. So we always save some of the questions so that the chat has something to ask if they would like to ask it. What do you say we do a giveaway or two? What do you guys think?
Let's go.
Let's go. I usually throw off this Pretty Lures giveaway first. We gave out a code for it. Everybody should have the code tonight. I messed up and I forgot what letters I had already given out. So you know what they are. We have 43 people in here. Make sure you guys have interacted with this live some way, whether you liked the live, made a comment, gave a thumbs up down in the chat. It doesn't matter. But if you don't interact with the live, you do not get a number to be in the giveaway. The numbers have already been randomly selected, and we are going to start with Pretty Lures giveaway. And I'm going to try and show you this number. It seems to work best on some yellow paper. And it is number 22. So I'm going to go to the upper right-hand corner, and we're going to go to number 22. We're going to see who that is. Taiwan on Custom Lures. I need you to type that code into the chat. If you can type that code into the chat, you are the winner of the Pretty Lures giveaway. That is a $25 gift code to Pretty Lures themselves. If you're a bait maker, you can get anything you would need for your bait making. There's the code. Thank you, sir. If you're not a bait maker,
he don't need that. He don't know what he's doing.
Once again, if you're not a bait maker, you can get a custom bait from Barrett himself. If you are a bait maker and that's what you want anyway, you can go that route. Pretty Lures will be sending you that code. They should be writing it down. I'm sure they already have it right now, so I'm going to write it down. That way we have it. Now, we have another giveaway. This one is from Bfe, and we're going to let him take it from here. We already randomly selected a number, so we're going to let him explain kind of what he's giving away, and we'll go from there.
All right. So, starting off, since we talked so much about them, I've got a chatterbait, and this is a new pattern. I've tied up a little bit of blue on that head, and this was modeled after a warmouth that I caught, and I was like, man, they feed on those a lot around here, so why not? And let's see, can I? Oh, nope, that turned it off. Oh, there we go. Trying to green screen. There he is. So that was the exact fish that I was using, and so as you can see, let me turn that back off. Ah, dang it. This works weird. So there we go. It does have some highlights of orange in it. Got that yellow blue under the head. So gold coffin blade. I got that, and I was showing this one earlier. I just made these actually, so today's Tuesday. I'll have to wait till Thursday to ship because I just made them to match. But that is a chartreuse pearl belly. I've actually never made this combo, and a green pumpkin blue top. So a little bit of contrast with that chartreuse, but give it a little extra flash of color. Then I'm not going to pull out the package, but I've got a pack of my frogs. These are great top water. A lot of people are catching them. A lot of people use them on a buzz bait. And nice. I thought I had something else besides this. I can't remember. That's my brain. But how about a micro chatter?
There you go.
Get this thing around here. So
that looks good.
I thought there was something else, but maybe I'm wrong. No, I think that was everything packed up.
Well, that's plenty of stuff, that's for sure. I thought we were giving one thing away. You're going to throw a whole package at them.
Nah, I got to make it worth the time. Hey, listen, you throw a little bit of everything out there, and then they win it and they catch fish. Hey, I need more of those.
That's very true. Very true.
Give a little sampler package out.
So I spoke with BFE earlier. We already have the number here, and he decided to go a little unconventional, and I agree with him. So you're going to get everything that he just showed. He will be mailing that stuff out by the end of the week at some point. The number he went with, and
I don't know why I'm moving.
Now you can see it. Number 1. So number 1 up here is none other than Outdoors with Tiny. Outdoors with Tiny is the winner of this giveaway from BFE. We're going to get him written down here. Congratulations to all the winners tonight and throughout the podcast. We've given away a lot of stuff. We've had, this makes the 30th episode, and I think all the episodes have had a giveaway from Pretty Lure 100%, and the guest who comes on. I never require a guest to come on here and do a giveaway. It's something that started, and everybody just kind of keeps doing it, and I greatly appreciate it. And I know all the listeners and people in the chat, they all appreciate it. That is one more advantage to tuning in to the podcast live here on TikTok, is you could be part of this giveaway. So I appreciate it, BFE. You came in here and put out some good stuff, man. Run that one again on me. So you want me to run that giveaway again? You do not want to receive it? Outdoors?
He has everything. Well, he don't have the exact colors, I don't think, but he has everything that that I put in the giveaway.
All right.
He stocked up well, actually.
Okay. We can run it again. So here's how we do this. If somebody is in here and they say, look, I've won enough or I have enough, go ahead and run it again. We run it again, but we still do a random number. So I don't have any more written down. So BFE is going to give me another random number, and we're going to see whose name is beside that number. You can go in between 1 and 46. What number?
$18.
18, number 18. We're going to go down. It better not be Outdoors with Tiny. Number 18 is Benster. Benster Custom Fishing. That's a good giveaway. I bet he takes it.
Hey, that's a good one to get.
Benster, you are the winner. Congratulations. You did miss by 1. I seen you there. Northwaters and a few other people tend to win often. They're just lucky. That's all there is to it. They're just lucky, because I couldn't make this any more random if I wanted to. But congratulations to all the winners. I appreciate everybody showing up for the podcast and showing out. We've asked him a lot of questions. We've went over a lot of things. Make sure you send him a follow. Make sure you're following Pretty Lures. Give BFE's website a check. Go over there and see what all he offers. If there's something that is not on there that you would be interested in, that he does make, whether it be chatterbaits, plastics, or jigs, send him a message. Send him a message and he'll get it made up for you. You guys can work something out.
Yeah. I do got to go mess with the website and update some stuff. I did get, I just got in a fresh shipment of this. That is
Silver Fox
crawfish gel. Yeah, this is to go with, and I know I had one sitting up here. Oh, there it is.
Well, he just come up with the night crawler or the worm.
This is so this is not, this is exclusive to my site.
Oh.
He does not offer this. This is different than the chapstick or the sprays.
Okay.
This is a thick gel. It does squeeze out, but it's made. I had it made to go with these. These are my hollow body crawls, and if you see, it has a cavity inside of that. So these bottles just go in like that, squirt some, and as you're working it along, it's slowly releasing the crawfish scent.
Very nice. Look at that team up right there.
Yeah, yeah. Tom's the man, and so this is something I asked him to create. When I got this mold, I said, "Man, a crawfish scented gel would be awesome."
Holding out on us, I see.
It just came back in stock today. I just got my shipment, and I think I got about 20 bottles in.
Is that the Pro Staff exclusive? Killjoy says.
Nope, that's available on the website.
Very nice. Yeah, I've been following Silver Fox and what else you got there?
Oh, that was the night crawler. There's the bluegill. And if anybody don't know, his stuff is made with real ingredients. I send the bluegill down to him. They come out of my ponds.
Yeah.
And he extracts the stuff, however he does it. That's his circus. I'm not.
That's his secrets.
I don't even want to know him. I don't want to do it. I've got enough on my plate. I don't want nothing to do with much else, you know.
So when it comes to Silver Fox, I know you have that exclusive, the crawl, to match up with your hollow body crawl, but are all of them available through you as well?
No.
Okay. So you got to go over to Silver Fox if you want the rest of them.
Yeah, and this dang, I keep throwing it. This one you won't get on his site. This is only available on my site.
Yeah. Very nice.
Bet you won't put a drop. No, I bet you're right. You'll win that bet, Bo.
Who was it that was tasting this stuff?
There's a few Australians that have tasted it, and I'm like,
it was Baits, wasn't it?
Baits. Well, I mean, Shano has done it. Who else did it? I can't remember if Snagabera did it, or if Tenny did it, or any of the other. But I know Bakes and Shano have both.
That's not surprising.
Yeah, Aussies are built different.
Aussies are built different.
I don't know if it's good or bad, or if it's just different. You know,
there you go. I don't know if it's good or bad, but
it's different. But yeah. Anyway, but I do have a code on his site, Bfe Baits 10. Now to get 10% off on Silver Fox site, and best scents you can get on the market. That's all I run. I mean, in my pocket, I about wore the labels off because I carry them. There's the bluegill chapstick.
He's got
have. Oh, yeah, there it is. I had to root around a little bit, and there's some crawfish chapstick. So those are in my pocket. I mean, look at the labels. I've wore the labels down.
Here's the real question: do you carry actual chapstick for yourself?
No.
Oh, I could sense a mistake happening one day.
No. I did try to trick my wife with it though.
Oh no! Oh no! It didn't work, right?
No, it did not work. She does not trust me.
What?
Yeah.
No.
She Her and I have been together 27 years total. She might have learned a thing or two.
Yeah. Like, don't ever trust you.
Now it's like, hey, try some of this chapstick on your lips. She's like, what is this like? And she don't even have to open it. She's just looking like, oh, no.
No. Not happening.
Yeah, I knew I wasn't trying to get her because I knew I wouldn't. I knew she'd be suspicious.
Yes, sir. She knows you. Yep. So here's the part where, is there anything else you'd like to talk about before we open up the questions from the chat?
No, because I think we've addressed everything well.
Well, I know we jumped around a lot. I usually go through the questions a little better, but you do quite a few different things, and I wanted to make sure and talk about some of those things and not stick to just the basic questions that I usually do. I am going to ask you one last question, and then we're going to open up the chat and let you guys ask him some questions. I appreciate everybody sticking around. I know this has been one of the longer interviews, but I've had a great time, and I've learned a lot from everybody in the chat and from BFE himself. But if you could give a piece of advice to maybe a new bait maker, or maybe even a piece of life advice that was given to you that has stuck with you forever, what would that advice be?
Hey, if you enjoy fishing, don't do it. I fish less than I ever have making baits now, even though, and I say I fish every single day, but I'm always tinkering with stuff, trying things, but it's at my house, you know.
Yeah.
People are like, why don't you go live fishing? It's like, well, hey, I'm either at my house or where I'm at, there's no signal.
Who says that's why I don't do it?
You know, where I live, I live hills and hollers, you know, and there's no signal down in those spots. So, yeah, Killjoy, yeah, PP, but now like make stuff that you're going to use, and don't chase the fads if it's not something you're going to do. Just do what you're going to use and enjoy it that way. Hey, if it don't sell, you got your own baits. You know, you got stuff you're going to run. And don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Don't worry about trying to keep up. You're never going to do it. I mean, I've got more stuff than I know how to count, and there's so many more bigger fish that have way more than I do, and they do more than I and all that. So worry about you. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. I don't disagree, man. If you love fishing, this can take up some of your time. You guys are going to find me doing more work in the winter. Wintertime, the lakes freeze up, and I'm not an ice fisherman, so that's when you find me doing more of my bait making. Right now, if you catch me painting, it's for my tackle box.
Right.
I'm going fishing. I try to stay small. I know a lot of people try and build their clientele and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And everybody has a dream and a goal. And if your goal is to get bigger and bigger and bigger, you have to stay at it constantly. My goal was to get on here, hang out with friends, learn how to do one of these hobbies, and basically just hang out with everybody. So when it came summertime again, man, I put that brush down with no problem. And I go out fishing all the time. So just depends on what you're looking for.
Anderson, yes, 100%. Worry about yourself.
Worry about yourself.
Worry about yourself. Yep, that's it.
Wear PPE and worry about yourself.
Yeah.
Go
exactly.
ahead, Chad.
Worry about you.
It's opened up to you. If you have a question that you'd like to ask BFE, go ahead and put it down in the chat now. I will try to take them in the order that they come. Outdoors with Tiny, who is your favorite UK fan?
Well, it has to be Tiny because I don't know too many that are UK fans, or they're not going to admit to it.
Killjoy Customs. Have you ever tried to make a weedless chatter?
No. I don't even know where you'd start on that. I have had requests like, a jig has the weed guard on it. I've had people request a weed guard on a chatter. I'm like, okay, but I'll do it. If you want to pay for it, fine. But it's like, why?
Yeah.
There's really no point.
I think chatterbaits come through the weeds pretty well, depending on what kind of weeds we're talking about.
I was going to say, it depends on what kind. If you got stalky stuff but if you got this moss like I got in my pond, no, you're done. As soon as it hangs up around the blade, no, you're done. Just reel it in and get it off.
Yep, I fully agree.
And I don't know how, because you throw weedless rigs all the time and get what do? You pull weeds in. Yeah. It's a weedless rig, I'll rig stuff weedless, like on a Texas rig, and I'll throw into something. Next thing I know, I'm like hung on a limb. Yeah. Like, how? It's rigged weedless. How am I hung up right now?
The hook's not even exposed. What could it possibly be stuck on?
Exactly. Like, what happened?
So Taiwan On says, we know Bama is your favorite team, but who's your second favorite? I feel like this is trying to start an argument, but I'm with it. I'm with it.
Oh, man. Just come around, was it September when college football starts?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and yeah, come around and hang out then. Unless you have, unless you're tenderhearted. If you get easily offended, don't come. Stay away. Because if you come in and tell me you're a fan of anybody but Tennessee Vols, I'm gonna be in your ear.
I feel like you're bringing these questions on yourself, so we're going to keep asking them. Outdoors with Tiny says, is it true you get UK Wildcat fan mail?
Any package I get from Tiny has some. I'm surprised they let it through the system. It's pretty ugly, pretty vulgar,
Poo fishing. How come you give me a hard time over Poo 10? LOL.
I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. That's our discount code with Tiny, but if you say it, Poo 10.
Uh-huh. Oh, I get it.
And she had me hollering as soon as she said that was her code, I just was hollering. I was like, I know Tiny did that intentionally.
He had to have. Tiny. What is wrong with you, brother?
Exactly, Gibbo, man. Me and Rolo gave each other crap because he was a Bama fan, and that's one of the most hated teams.
Killjoy says, do you powder coat your blades?
Some of them I do. Some of them I buy pre-painted. They're getting harder to find, so I'm having to powder coat my own, and I really wish I didn't because it's a pain in the ass.
Is that?
Yes, because you can't just tip a blade like you do a jig head. Mm-hmm. You need that powder coat to be even and thin. You don't want to add weight, and you don't want it thick on one side and thinner on the other because that's going to throw off your movement and all that. So it's a pain. I really don't want to do it. Just because, and you can ruin a blade quick. But I've literally sat here and scraped powder paint because when you first heat it and get it on, it's not cured on. It's not been through the baking process, so it'll come off fairly easy, but it's still not fun to do. But some of my blades I do paint myself. I don't have any. I really like it when people want gold or stainless or nickel.
So we do have a question from the Aussie. Tenny, When are you coming to Australia to do research and development?
Hey, you give me something strong enough to knock me out for that 27-hour flight, and I'll be on my way.
Yeah. You don't like flying?
It's not the flying; it's the being stuck in one spot, that
Yeah.
long.
Yeah.
I get too anxious. I got to move around. I got to be up moving, and yeah, you're gonna have to have me unconscious on the plane.
I am not a flyer. I flew when I was a kid, and it bothered me, and I thought as an adult I would be over it. And we flew to Mexico a few years ago, and yeah, I'm not over it. I hate flying.
It don't bother me. I flew when I was younger. I haven't flown as an adult. I was 12, 13-year old, and my parents got me a plane ticket, and I flew to Florida. My grandparents lived there at the time.
Okay.
I flew solo at
Yeah.
12, 13-year old. Of course, back in the day, our parents gambled with us like that.
Well, let me ask you this. So I used to fly to my uncle's in the summer. It would just be me and my sister, but they would actually, when they bought the tickets, a flight attendant kind of came along with it to get us on the plane. Yeah, there you go. I don't know that they do that anymore.
They didn't. I didn't have a chaperone.
Yeah.
My dad gave me $100 bill and drove me to the airport, and it was pretty crazy, man. Because I had a layover in Atlanta. Thankfully, I didn't know Hannah at the time, because I wouldn't have made it out. I wouldn't have made it out of Atlanta, but but I had a long layover in Atlanta. And I roamed the airport, found me something to eat, but what was I? I used common sense. I didn't stray too far away, and I went back and waited, because I was like, dude, if I miss this flight, I am screwed. I'm 12-year-old, whatever, and so yeah, we had a good long layover, and back then we didn't have a cell phone, so I couldn't call my grandpa, who was picking me up in Jacksonville, and be like, hey, we got an hour and a half layover. I'm gonna be late. Whatever. There's some kind of issue. And that was another thing. There was an issue with the plane. They were having to use the backup fuel tanks to refuel, or the fuel lines, whatever, and it took a lot longer. So that was the problem. I'm sitting there like, I'm kind of in between a rock and a hard place. If I don't get on the plane, what do I do? If I get on the plane and it's malfunctioning, like, holy crap,
Yeah.
So obviously it worked out.
Yeah. That's a good story, though. That's a young age to be flying, that's for sure. So Taiwan On is back, and he says, can you fight a kangaroo while you're over there for research purposes?
If he'll stand up and box me, I'll do it. But they got them hind leg kicks, man.
He's going to sit back on that tail and show you something.
Oh, yeah. I think Tenny, it might have been somebody sent me a video earlier of two kangaroos fighting it out, and they're sitting there, doing that number right there, and all of a sudden one of them goes back on that tail and double leg kicks the other one. That dude went flying like 10 feet, got up, and he's like, oh, come on, you messed up now. But yeah, if they'll stay off them back, stay away from them, and just straight up box me, I'll go toe to toe all day.
You go toe to toe with a kangaroo. Oh my goodness. 706, he's scared of cats. He won't fight a kangaroo. Welcome in, Little River Lure Lady. There was a kangaroo loose where you live a few weeks ago. Outdoors are tiny. Really? Running from the zoo, I suppose.
Or some kind of circus? I don't know.
I feel like there's a joke behind it. It's outdoors with tiny. I feel like there's a joke behind it.
No, I think he's I think I remember hearing about that. It's legit.
Sorry I missed it. Where are you from? He's from Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. What a great chat. The chat has been great. Everything went so well. No zoos here. Someone better. What? No zoos here. Someone better have some papers. Oh, it was a privately owned kangaroo.
I want to do that. I want to own a kangaroo. Now, I would like to go over there and because I don't know. I wonder what I wonder what kangaroo tastes like. It's got to be good, right?
It'll be muscly. Not a lot.
Grind it up.
Yeah.
Hamburger.
Surely you get good that's a good question.
Surely the back straps aren't really tough.
Kay says, I need to watch more of these. Heck yeah, keep coming back.
Yeah, you
do them every Tuesday. You heard it's good? Oh my.
I had a kangaroo beef stick or jerky stick one time, but I'm going to say it was mostly beef with just a little bit of kangaroo mixed in with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you get hooked, are you going to use the needle nose and get back to fishing? Oh, I'm going back to fishing.
Or are you going to the ER? Basically, if he gets hooked, is he going to rip the hook out and go back to fishing, or is he going to the ER?
No. Surely I got a roll of black tape somewhere close by.
Mm-hmm.
Patch it up and go on. But well, one thing I didn't talk about is, I've grown up on this farm, and we had another farm with ponds on it, and that's what I was saying earlier. I've worked these ponds most of my young life. Is we ran a catfish business.
Yeah.
We seine these ponds. There's a huge concrete tank in my barn where we used to put catfish fingerlings, and we'd sell hybrid bluegill and some other stuff, carp and stuff like that out of. I pretty much ran that growing up. My dad.
It's been life.
Yeah. Well, these ponds didn't have a single bass in it, back then, and we stocked it the old-fashioned way. We took 5-gallon buckets down to the creek or river, kept what we caught, and what survived when we got home went in the pond.
Yeah. So do you do anything special with your ponds this day and age for different species, or you just kind of throw them in there and let it happen?
I got one pond up on top. It's spring fed, so it stays cold. I've been trying to keep stocked up with crappie.
There you go.
Crappie only. I'm not putting any bass, no catfish, nothing. I just want it to be a crappie pond. It used to be a good crappie pond, and I've had issues with otters.
Okay, yeah.
So I've been trying to replenish that. This pond in front of that's right outside my door, I want it to be primarily a bass and bluegill pond, and the same with the pond down on the end. And then the pond in the middle used to be our catfish pond. I don't think there's any cat left. Otters have ruined a lot around here.
Well, unfortunately, it's your honey hole, but to them, it's their honey hole. There's plenty of fish in there for them. So.
It's my honey. Let me catch them slipping.
I get it. I know what you're saying.
I've evicted several.
There you go. Yeah.
Or actually relocated them.
Yeah. And why wouldn't you? I mean, you're trying to build something,
Yeah.
And they're trying to take it all away because they eat a lot in a day.
They have very high metabolisms. And they eat a lot. I have more issues in the colder months.
Yeah.
But yeah, I catch them out. I relocate them.
Yeah. Well,
to heaven.
If a turtle loses its shell, to heaven. Permanent. If a turtle loses its shell, is it homeless or naked?
Hell if I know. But yeah, like I said, that was my growing up, and so I don't know if I am now. I don't really want to get poked, but you get stabbed by a catfish fin. It hurts really bad because they have a toxin on there that makes it hurt,
Right.
intensifies the pain. Yeah, I was pretty much immune to it.
Ooh.
That's how much I got poked. But
You got it that many times.
oh man, we used to have these special things we put in our ponds, and the catfish would go in and lay their eggs, and of course you'd have the male come in and fertilize them. And once they were fertilized, we'd go in out there, pull them up, get the eggs, put it back down, and we'd bring them in. We had a whole setup for keeping the water oxygenated, and I'd have to come out 2 or 3 times a day and pick off the eggs that weren't, didn't make it, I guess, so it wouldn't spread and all that. So all the way till from egg till they were 2 to 3 inch fingerlings ready to sell. And we ran our place's pay lake too. So
I went to a couple pay lakes in my day.
I ran one. I ain't never been to one.
Most pay lakes are just catfish, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, to this day, if I go out to, I'm not paying for catfish.
Right.
The way I grew up with it in Grant, I'm not paying for catfish.
Yeah. We have one right here, right by Bayview. Bayview is in between Sandusky and Port Clinton. And there's a pay lake over there, and he's kind of set up similar to what you're saying. This one over here is for bass. This one over here is for catfish. This one over here is for, the bluegill, crappie, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And we did pay to go on the kayaks over there once, and it wasn't that great of fishing, but that was the last time I've ever paid to go fishing anywhere.
You have to constantly stock them.
Yeah.
And you gotta stock them with eating size fish, and it's not cheap and it's not easy. My dad, we had a 2-ton flatbed truck that my dad had some tanks on. He had oxygen bottles. He had all kind of aerating systems on there. It was a pretty complex setup. And he would drive down to he went to he went to a couple of different states, but he'd go to the universities. Mississippi and Arkansas, I believe, were 2 of the main ones he'd go get fish from to stock the ponds.
Sizable fish, not little fingerlings and stuff.
No, they were eating size. They were ready. They were pound to 2 pound fish. Good eating size.
I guess you never think about that aspect of it when you own something of that nature.
Yeah, when you go to a pay lake and somebody, we didn't charge to come out and fish, but we charged per pound. And if you came out and fished, you didn't just catch fish, throw them back, and nip. No, you kept what you caught. Mm-hmm. And when you got what you wanted, we weighed and you paid.
Okay.
It was just kind of like that. You're coming out to a pay lake, and most people will come out if they wanted to eat some fish or they had a fish fry coming up. So you didn't really have a trouble with people just wanting to come out and pleasure fish.
Right, right.
You don't want people on a pay lake pleasure fishing, throwing fish back that may have been hooked bad and now it's going to float up, and you've lost that. Or if you've got fish that have been hooked, they're not going to be prone to biting.
Yeah.
That's kind of the object of a pay lake, is to make money. So if people aren't catching fish because either they're belly up or their mouth is sore, people aren't going to catch, you're not going to make money. So you keep what you catch, because they're all about the same size. They're all stocked at the same time and about the same size.
Now, I think it is maybe a little different. There is a place up here that does pay lake, but they do tournament style catfishing, and they actually tag a fish. And if you catch that fish within the 24-hour period and you're allowed to camp there, if you catch that fish in that 24-hour period, you win $500 or whatever it may be. So,
oh, that's cool.
But I would say in that situation, they're probably overfeeding that fish, all the fish, because they don't want you to catch them.
Yeah.
But I've seen that scenario as well.
We fed ours, but we didn't overfeed them. We just, because you want them hungry, you want them to bite, but you don't want to starve them and be inhumane. So you kind of feed them and keep them where they smell bait they're going to go after.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
It's a lot. It's a lot to stuff like that. It's not as easy as people think. No. You don't just buy a place with a pond or dig a pond and put some fish in it and okay, I'm gonna open up this business. It's not that simple.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Well, guys, don't forget our next guest next week. We do this every Tuesday. Every Tuesday at 7 Eastern, we do the podcast. The next guest we're going to have on here is Tim. We call him Tim the Candyman will be on here. He's pretty well known. He's really good with the candy paints. He does some amazing work with that stuff. So make sure you guys tune in next week as well. I just wanted to throw that out there before we get too far and I forget to mention it. But you don't think about that stuff when it comes to pay lakes and running essentially a fish farm, right? I mean, you guys are taking these things, you're raising them, you're getting them back in there. He's going distances just to get these fish to put them in there so that somebody can come in and catch them and have a fish fry.
And you're going to have, regardless, you're going to have dead loss.
Yeah.
So you've got to account for that. Yeah. It's just like anything, man. If you want to get into making baits as a business and your first thought is, all I got to do is buy this and buy that and buy this, and no, I promise you it's not so simple and you'll learn quick.
Yeah.
But don't give up if that does happen. Just take your licks and learn your lesson. Sometimes those lessons cost money, but if you went to school to learn it, you're going to spend money. So, I mean, you're going to pay for your education one way or another.
And it's satisfying if you're looking for a hobby of this sort and fishing is your passion. Now, don't get me wrong. There's people that do this. They don't fish, or they don't fish for bass, but they make bass lures, or they don't fish for crappie, but they make crappie lures. If it's your passion and you find this to be one of your hobbies, it's very satisfying when you can come up with an idea, put it to work, and see the outcome of it, and then show it off to your friends on here or your friends, in your neighborhood that fish, and get that reaction that people really love something that you created. It's satisfying. It's very satisfying.
Right.
So, make sure you get out there and give it a shot if you've been thinking about it. Don't let the money stop you. If you don't spend that money there, you're going to spend it somewhere else on something else. So do what you want to do.
Yep. You don't have to do everything all at once.
No. I'm still considering getting into tying, but it's always that money aspect. I've got so much money into painting and I enjoy painting, and I just want to pick up and it's those famous last words. I just want to pick up tying just for myself.
Yeah.
That's not going to be the case, but
good luck with that.
Yeah. I fish with a lot of jigs, a lot of chatterbaits, a lot of spinner baits. And I would like to tie my own dressed treble hooks and things like that. So, I actually,
if I don't make it, I know I've made enough connections. I know where I can get it.
Very true. And that's what I do now. You know, if I want some jigs, there's plenty of places, you know, that I can go to get jigs, and there's plenty of people out there that I don't know yet. And if you guys think this is a small community, you have not ventured out there enough. This community is huge. There are thousands of bait makers. There's thousands of just people who paint, let alone do the plastics and the jigs and the chatterbaits and the spinnerbaits, and it's endless. There's so many people out there, and not just in the U.S. We've got people from Australia in here right now, and there's people from Australia that are doing the same thing. They have the same love for fishing. So there's Silver Fox. What's up, buddy?
I don't know. I can't think of anything in fishing right now that I can't call somebody up or, you know, whatever. I mean, from rod makers to, hell, just scents, you know.
Yeah.
To spinnerbait makers, buzz bait makers.
Yeah.
A-rig makers. I mean, it's just everything.
If there's a need for fishing it, somebody makes it. There's somebody out there. And if you don't know them, ask somebody, because eventually you're going to get there. Somebody will know.
Yep.
My goodness. What a great interview, man. I greatly appreciate you coming on here and explaining and helping out, giving some tips and some tricks. I know not everybody can explain everything all the time, and there's always something that you like to hold and keep to yourself. I think every bait maker out there does, but I appreciate you coming on and just sharing with us, letting us get to know you a little better, and hopefully you've made some new friends and you've gotten some new follows. Make sure you guys are getting over and you're checking out his website. If you don't want to go to his website and you just want to talk to him, send him a message. You know, maybe you want a special bait custom made somehow, some way. Let him know and he'll get it done for you.
Yep. I'm live every night except Saturdays around 9:30. It's been more around 9:30 getting started lately.
And he is a night owl.
I haven't eaten dinner yet. My wife's going. I'm gonna spend a little bit of time with the wife before I come back out.
Yeah.
Cool off. I'm gonna cool off. Like actually soak up some real AC.
I hear you.
It's dropped to 84 in here in the time we've been on here.
It's still warm.
Yeah, it's fine. It's blowing right on me. I'm not sweating that bad at all.
Well, I appreciate you suffering through without the AC, with no dinner, and coming in here and giving us some entertainment and hanging out with everybody. Appreciate you doing the giveaway. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you very soon. Make sure you guys are checking him out. He'll be live later tonight. You can see him doing some of that work live. And as always, don't forget to go check out Pretty Lure for all your bait making needs. If you need codes, get a hold of me or get a hold of any of their pro staff. And same over here for him. If you're going over to Silver Fox, make sure you get a code from, as people are saying, Bfe over here.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I am going to let you get to what you need to get done this evening. Thank you so much. I'll be talking to you very soon, sir.
All right, man.
All right. See y'all.
Good night.